There we go. Hey, YouTube fam, how's it going? Got another stream for you today. It is Halloween day, but I'm not playing a spooky game because that's just too boring and expected. So instead, I'm just gonna carry on with Phoenix Wright because I'm liking this game a lot. And we're on the last case. We're on the last episode of the first game, and this case is very long. So might as well get on with it, eh? Rise from the ashes. Rise from your grave. That's Altered Beast, isn't it? Or I might be wrong. February 23rd, 9:34 AM. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of grey areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big grey area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. That is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. The first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. That is true. That is true. Like, every other time, right, Phoenix has been bailed out, essentially. By either, well, Mia or Maya channeling, well, Mia channeling through Maya. Even in the last trial, Phoenix had, like, visions of Maya in his brain. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. February 23rd, 10 AM. Oh, number 9. But it's the same judge still. What happened to courtroom's fucking wonder wait? Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in the courtroom since his trial. And yet he wonders how he can't pay the rent. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, it's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. Jesus Christ, gonna get the death sentence? There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. Prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand. Cough up, Queen? God, that hat. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh ho, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Ah, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir? You ordered the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled... what? Tapioca? I don't know what that fucking says. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up! Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Star was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough up. Cough up, Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Star. Just, who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. Parking lot of the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of the A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plan. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Star. Wait, are they talking about me? Yes, they are. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, and I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Oh god. Through the wire fence I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest! Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very good. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Pressing. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. Lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Star, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? Fired. Me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Got a sneeze going on. Never mind. It's past. I thought I was gonna sneeze. Very well. You may continue, mister. What's to my boyfriend? This boyfriend? He's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yeah, polygamy, dude. Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Here to join. Yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before applying. Security guard room is in the lot in A block. Up on the second level so you can see everything from there. That'll be the room with the security sign. Oh shit. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sent some. Through the wire fence, I saw the prosecutor standing next to a garish car. By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are home. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over, and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness! Why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? Chief prosecutor was holding... Well, she wasn't. That photo, she wasn't. Objection! And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with a knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But... isn't that odd? Look at this. Look at this photograph! This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yeah, it didn't even come up with, like, the thing. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. It was taken the moment after the stabbing. Objection! And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? Well, to be fair, the photo is in black and white, so... no, we can't see the colour. Like, we can see the dark bits, sure, but, you know, she might have just spilled her lunch or something. I just had a, like, really big accident with her lunch or breakfast, I don't know. But, exactly, it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Oh, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Ah, you got a better idea? No problem. Now that you mention it, I see no problem here. Other than myself. Mr. Wright, you can't just let him walk all over you. That's just sad. Feeling sad, Mr. Wright? Perhaps a bittersweet first love lunchbox is in order. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's continue with the testimony. Perhaps I should have dug a little deeper. I've got to do the same thing again. I had to do that thing just to get the lunchbox. Objection! Already said yes. I swear I'm a finest yet. That is a fine lunch. Hold on. Skipping all this chat because I've already done it. Now I've got to choose objection. Wait! That contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. Killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. What? These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder. Serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. Murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Well, maybe not. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? Bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Army, our prosecutors bad people. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Sky planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. If you're gonna plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. What? Order, order, order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favour. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. No, it's only the beginning of the trial, lady. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Sky, murdered the detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned! If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you! My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Oh boy. Angel's deduction. Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine that plunged a knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defendants may now cross-examine the witness. To be fair, she has a point. Nothing else could. Present Goodman's autopsy report. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise! I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. What do you mean? I shouldn't know how to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, God. Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splatter blood from her victim! That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify! The red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how I said whole scene. Objection! So many objections. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. Witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good! In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection, chopped liver? Poor Phoenix. But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. More testimonies. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks! Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. Everyone. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr! Not the right spelling of rawr, but I'll accept it. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. Lunch line car was... She was a visitor, first she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing! The cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Hold it! You mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Cheeky breaky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word. So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Oh, can't mean... By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see Miss Star. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order, and so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should of course add this to your testimony. Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Apparently she hates me, but also hates prosecutors. Does she just hate everyone in, like, the law profession? Saw it all, how she tried to phone the wall but had to use her cell. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I only said this one time, so listen close, rookie. Chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. Then she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, Chief Prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Saw it all. You made to escape. Can you be more specific? You brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pate of foie gras. Foie gras? God, I'm butchering these words. Huh? Steven kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? Yeah, but... parking lot entrance. Oh, that's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent, more mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. The Miss Sky tried to run? Sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. Doesn't matter. Martha, I saw it all. How she... Then the parking plans. Objection! Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought that you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. Ida. The emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Oh, banger. What? Boo, boo, boo. Order! Where's the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up blood, she's coughing up lies. Ugh. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? That's exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. But I'm going to get it wrong anyway, because I need to get it wrong twice for an achievement. The witness lied about... I've got to choose what she saw. Lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Miss Sky using that emergency phone. It does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox? Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Star lie like that? Hold on, chat. Okay. All good. Huh? Why would she say that my sister tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh, dang, she's right. I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone. I see no room for doubt here. You ordered the patootie on rice, right? Mr. Wright, and I thought you had something there. Ugh. One more try. I see it in your eyes. You haven't learned your lesson, have you? That's exactly what lie the witness has told her. Now I've got to choose the order of events. Lied about the order of events. Miss Sky used that emergency phone before the murder. I see, I hadn't thought of that. That took the wind out of her sails. Mr. Wright? Yep. But why would anyone use the emergency phone before the murder? Huh? Just when you think he can't sink any lower, he amazes us. I applaud you, Mr. Wright. You ordered the orange peel lunchbox, right? I guess that teaches me not to get excited before the evidence. Now I gotta pick the right one. Which is where she saw it. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie? I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The security room. Take that! This is the only place where she could have been. Security guard room. Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. You would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, mister? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Star. Order, order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be the detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Guilty? You talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Star lie? Doesn't make sense. Huh? You could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim, but how could she take the photograph there? That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So, tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Crime. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. Distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? You... Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? At least it wasn't the Squid Game. The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend! He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Guess she had to run all the way around? That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B Block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. For 5 minutes?! This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defender's chair who stabbed him. I know it, I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. It is. You like another caviar lunch? Absolutely! Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you had to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Of course I do. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it, I'll dent. I got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you had the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. This guy dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Ugh! Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Oh. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me! I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask you, Miss Starr. Ah. Oh god, another one. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple-decker. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the lunchtime motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? Decisive evidence. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was of course the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. What? There was blood found in that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence. What is with her and lunch? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth was looking pretty sullen. Could at least study some evidence, law. Really? Prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Press Angel on every step. Should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I... Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing! Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This when the suspect is admitting she did it. But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, mister. Let's just get this over with. And you found the shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you stuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. The shoe is my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. Happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. You types of blood were found in the shoe. Hold it! So, you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analysed by a forensic expert. And she got away with a little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type matched our defendant, Miss Lance. Can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results, but they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Skies. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of... I can't talk anymore. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Who proves it? It's flawless decisively. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the pepper fish guts, right? Some like a hot, Mr. Wright. Some like a client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There is a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I say there is one critical problem with this evidence, a clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes, you're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. The blood on the shoe. Take that! I wonder if you noticed, there's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. Makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of this shoe? Crime photo. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about the shoe! Your Honor, this woman is throwing her balls in our faces. We need a recess. Yeah, we do. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order. Well, witness? What, huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, it's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just going to find the contradiction. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped! There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. Knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr! I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth, but apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness! Well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. Clean up the bloody footprints. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. What? That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence! That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Did she say she cursed herself when she stabbed him? That's when my sister's blood got on the shoe. Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution side. He could have been lying about the water. This court finds defendant Miss Lana Sky. Oh. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well... I thought you had your fill, but here you are, demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up, Queen. Look at this! A photograph. I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet! Raising the last trace of doubt for the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. Sorry, Mia. Oh gosh, she's fucking popped up again! Stop bailing him out! Phoenix Wright sucks. He always needs the fucking spirit world to bail him out of everything. Fucking Christ, dude. Right, wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt, take another good look. Give up, not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well, this time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Objection! Yep. Your Honor, wait! What is it with you people? Can I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't, then it will be too late. Look at this photograph. The last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Take that! The problem in this photograph is here. This? There's something poking out the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor. You just said muffler. Oh, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf or of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part in a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. Oh, I see. And... oh, I see. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? What if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. But what? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has in his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case. Choose Lana Selfridge. Star, recall your testimony for the court? Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Ah! Yeah! Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, whoa! Okay. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Sus! Sus! She's sus! Angel's sus. Sussy Baka. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. That was close. But, made it. At least for now. Yeah, because you got bailed out again! This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry! You got bailed out again. Can we go like an entire court case without Phoenix being bailed out by Mia? He doesn't look too happy. Mr. Wright? Oh, what? Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of the lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn this trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny insignificant piece of cloth. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. Oh god. Fucking Red Dead Redemption's back. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up his temper. That's what they told me when I was a young'un, at least. Officer Marshall. Thought I'd come take a look to see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out, huh? What's going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge. So you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. He wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now doesn't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. He was wearing a red muffler. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon, Edgeworth's seen it too, I reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, he wasn't wearing a scarf. Oh, is that cloth the scarf? So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. I have a bad feeling about this. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee! I want some steak. Actually, I probably will have steak later. Dinner. Wait, are we in number 10 now? I didn't read that. I'd like to... resume? What's up? The judge keeps looking over the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be! This can't happen! What happened to Mr. Edgeworth? Well then, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable! It seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me, knock knock. Who's there? Who the fuck are you? I forgot who you are. What's with this guy? A strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. No, we haven't seen him yet. Also, that... What sort of tie is he wearing? And also, that's kind of, that kind of looks like something else. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Seriously, who is he? Ah, it's you. Why is he staring? Please stop staring at me. Oh, okay. Sorry I'm late, Archie. The roads are packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, Archie? How you been? Swim much these days? Hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy? Busy smizzy, Archie. My boy, you had to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Archie seems to be his nickname for the judge. I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Aha! So you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks. So sorry about our little Worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly! Little Worthy? Mr. Wright! You don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. Yeah, I don't know who he is. Stop staring at me! Name's Gantz. Damon Gantz. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's worthy that. Here, look at the poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler! Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. Oh, it hurts. Second. Little Webby's car, no less. Right, what's with the pauses? Really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? What you call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Chief! What kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth? How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document, where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there? Miles Edgeworth. That's not fair! On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. Kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah! The court accepts this new evidence, but I'd like to ask the defense a favour first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at this, the blade of this knife. Hey, do you wanna? Don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point at people anymore. Very valid excuses. Very valid. The objections are like, you know, the key part, or you could just use your other hand, to be fair. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Really? That, right? Wow, don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. This knife blade, the tip is broken off. This dark red stain. What? This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I'd like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police? This knife? Sure thing, not a problem, not even a little one, really. Alright, this knife is special, but I can't say how here, unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed at the police department. See? What a mess! Time of the crime, 5:15. Scary coincidence, eh? Not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. Oh, there's another? A murder case? There was a murder at the police department? A detective? That's hush-hush information, Udgy. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second! You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order, order, order! Anyway, we at the department were all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright, two detectives killed at the exact same time in two different places. The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Knife special. Unnecessary evidence here.
Objection!
Wait a second. Ah, last! An honest to goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? Aha! An honest to goodness, what do you mean from Budgie? This is great! Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL-92. And this is important. Why? Over here we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7S 12/2. Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. Turn it around and what do you get? Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. That's the same thing that is written on the knife's tag. Order, order! Well, Chief. Well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence. This knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it in fact a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good show, little Worthy. It was a murder weapon as what the fuck is up with this guy? It was a murder weapon as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. This knife was stolen on the day of the murder, and it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was about pressing on the detective. On the same day a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto? I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me data on your case. Ooh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. Where the victim was found. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found. I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. Evidence room? Wait a second. I've heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? Knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. Yes, it was. There's the connection between the two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With a link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gann to testify about the details. Not officially linked to this hit case, so I can't talk much. Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. Heh, you don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. Stop staring at me! You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief! I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? Corroborate can't be the name of the victim at the department, okay? You're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Victim's ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all. We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is... What's his one? Oh, it is the same one. It's fucking Goodman's ID. Well, that's quite long. And we had to remember these. It drives me nuts. 8, 2. I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? The number of the victim at the police department. 508-42189. This does tell me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does, I think. Meaning... It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. Clear the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department. Tells you something? What does it tell you? Take that! Witness! What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused. And this is news? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. Police department, prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto. Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, the ID number we heard from the chief earlier. I started with 82... Oh, no, forgot. You didn't even get the first number right again! The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, ho ho ho, sharp as a tack, righto, sharp as a tack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim! He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet a Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department. In the evidence room at the exact same time. But that's impossible! So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location? Alright, now things are getting interesting. Order, order, order! Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case! Now just wait a second, Worthy, no need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said wait. Well, did you hear me? The oversight, the grave error? Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our officer Meekins who brought you the news. Oh, he told him to go away. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait. Aha! It was the guy who kept, like, saluting. Like, look at him in a minute. Look at him. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anyone on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I got your report, sir. You don't mean him? According to Meekins, he didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said the report had nothing to do with the Lama Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Ah! Why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. That's offensive. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir! You could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then Oh, stop staring at me again. No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say unworthy? Got him. What? Now what was the second rule of evidence law, Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Wright over here. Good job, Wright, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! Seriously, why has Edgeworth come like a comic character? What has happened there? It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, what with all those rumours. You were even in the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologise for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. If it's the last thing I do, you'd better get results this time. Really. You have my profound apologies, sir. Or Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honour. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well, court is adjourned. For once, it wasn't us who fucked up. Either way, we're still going. Day 2 investigation. Yeah, this is gonna go. Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 PM on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're going to find out, or try to at least. Alright, let's do it. Well, she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go! Science awaits us. Oh, I guess we're here. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. That oil drum, was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister raising evidence at the crime scene? Never! Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just... we're both professionals at what we do and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Hehehe. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is... luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? What the fuck? Test for a blood reaction, just sprayed aluminum on it. We're in the fucking Virtual Boy world. We're suddenly playing a fucking Virtual Boy game. Let's go. Like this, see? Press the A button to spray it on. Okay, let's find us some blood stains. Spray next to one at the back of the car. I see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So, is this a blood stain? It's so... Ugh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a blood stain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course. Thought about this. Scientifically. Not blood. Perpetrator Detective Goodman fought here, right? Do you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there had to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna mark up the floor plans when we find a blood stain, okay? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. Let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah! Feels like we're really investigating the crime now, doesn't it? I guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. Ha! Oh god, it's you again. I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. It's Star. You only trust your own eyes, Not bad, you two. This day old deli box is on the house. Oh god. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead in... Just that kind of lead in doesn't really get my mouth watering. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Star, but no, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there, but I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even the place I witnessed the events from was different. I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. Ah. I swear it on my honor as a detective. He stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Star? Yes, it was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up. They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I drank the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect, and before long they called me the cough-up queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case, the SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... Goodman's note. What do you think about this? The SL9 incident? It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over! Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Present the crime photo. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room, but even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's why I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime. There's 5 minutes of the whole problem. The whole of my testimony, as it were. 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl, I've had my testimony disregarded before, and I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time. That instant really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable to who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence, though they didn't solve it. On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Bruh. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence of a sort, made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved in the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Marshall, right? Exactly, Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined, and then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait, those lunches you sell? There is only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. Come here to meet old friends. Boyfriends that can help me investigate. Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, Rookie? What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you helped him with a treat. Miss Starr, Officer Marshall, is he your, are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you, Officer Jake Marshall. I already did this step ladder, but I'll do it again. Aha, ladder. There. I'll just do that again just in case. Move to guard station. Police department entrance. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here after all. So, the evidence room. The scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. Like a kid at an amusement park. Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. And beyond that door is the evidence room. Scene of the crime. Sure seems that way. Oh. Oh. What's wrong? It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, if this is a guard station, where is the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. So do I. This place is charged with frantic energy as always. Please! Huh? Wasn't that? One steak lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now's no time for despair. We caught our criminal, now we just need evidence. Criminal? You mean... You heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? On the same day a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? And the perpetrator, do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect, just arrested him, in fact. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But, Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Standing around here talking isn't going to fill my belly. But wait, don't leave. Want to know more? Head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Later. What if it's Marshall? Ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. Gotta go back to my offices. What's the bet? It's Marshall. Still, I do feel better about things a little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best not go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing. That was a loud noise. What was that? Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was the perpetrator against Sir. That's what I'd say. Oh! It's him. Wait, he was the perpetrator? No way, dude. Can't be him. Hi, greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anyone on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I got your report, sir. Officer Meekins, are you a guard here at the detention centre? No, sir, I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman, like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report? No, sir, how should I say this? Wait, he isn't. You, Officer Meekins? You didn't, did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. What? What? Now this is an unexpected turn of events. You're telling me, buddy. Sir, I'm a patrolman with General Affairs, sir. Sir! Ow, I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. I had some business that day, sir, and so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So normally there's a guard at the evidence room? That's right, sir, because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now, the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? And, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir. A suspicious person? Yeah. What the heck is this guy doing? What happened then? After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. When I came to, I was here in the detention center. How long were you out? Days? May I ask, what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. Bandage on his hand. Like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first, tell us how you hurt your hand. Go to the victim first. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir. If you have to label me as perpetrator or victim, sir, then label me victim. I would, but you happen to be in detention and alive and well at that. Ah, yes, well, that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So, you didn't know him? Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light or other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives. So, if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir. None. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. At least someone around here is more confused than I am. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? But, sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. Next thing you knew, you were... Huh? Then, when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir, all alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. Interesting. What? Then when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hand, sir. Oh, the shock, oh, the sorrow, sir. How can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared. That's some story. Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey! That's it, sir, that's it! That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment, but sir, now I remember. I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card was the cause of it all. This ID card? Exactly, sir, that's exactly it. Nothing could be more exact, sir, nothing! I better pry into this one a little deeper. Can you tell me what it is you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a lost little patrolman, a lost little lamb, if you will. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman, who was in the evidence room, and that's why you thought he looked suspicious. Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir, that's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing! Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. What? Sir, I assure you I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him? Do unto to others before they do unto you. My own father's words, sir. What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir, everything went white. When I awoke, I was here. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it that they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Well, let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim whom he met at the scene of the crime didn't show his ID card. In other words, we had no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body was just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That's it, sir, that's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? They told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time, Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly? No, but the videotape is quite clear. Huh? Videotape? From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out. It's there. It's me. It's on tape. And you wait until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No thanks, I have my own. Well, guess we better go check out the crime scene. I've got to go to the criminal affairs department first. Hey, Mr. Wright. Look who's standing at the Chief Detective's desk. It's Police Chief Gant. Oh god, not him. And you're sure this is all, huh? You know what it means if there is anything missing. Sir, I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his... Oh, God. I didn't see the first part. Under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away. Deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir. Chief Detective looks a little flustered. Aha! Righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much? Oh, Chief Gant reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? Is Edgeworth going to be okay? Oh, Worthy? Oh, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yep, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident on Gourd Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right, Writer? On karma. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. In court you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong, he did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? It's downright odd, I tell you, the detective getting killed on their turf too, I mean. There being the prosecutors, I assume? Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time, that's what it says. What evidence is this? Now, Writo, I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive and I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets. Can't stand them. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives trap shut. Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier? Huh? You saw that? Whoops. I wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. Examine the bald man at the back of the room. Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not! Well, except for this. What? You kept something? No, why not? It's not important. You didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. Lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? Date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that just in case. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. No answer. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favour. Well, I never thought the day would come when Raito asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. Stop staring at me! I hate it. Those eyes as well. Now, Raito. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't need to investigate after all. Raito, please, do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50, I'd give them $50, no problem. Go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content, knock yourself out. It just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you, here, you can borrow this. Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. You'll give me $50? Wow, cheers. If only I got $50 on the street, that'd be great. Yes, sir, it's an honour. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. Change the world, my final message, goodbye. Hey, it looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, real ID, or lapel. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we gotta go to the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Guard station. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card for Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha, the card reader is turned off, see? Where's that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, what's made my Bambina's sky so grey? Fucking Red Dead Redemption's back. Fucking John Marston's back. Officer Marshall! Why does it have to be him? What's that why does it have to be him looked for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw. Well, what are you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scene's awaiting. But the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak to you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. Time for a steak dinner! Or steak lunch. God, it's... Now my brain. When did that happen? That smell! Ah, reminds me of Texas. Yeah. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Star. What's this? What? What's wrong? Filet steak lunch. I see, I see! I don't see. I wonder what it means. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask munch, munch, anything, munch, smack. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. You couldn't figure it out from the decor? Ah, that poor little doggy? Poor guy, I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. But since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, I might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. No, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take to machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Miss Star told us something. He said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Star, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? Day of our case. That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too. So it happened 15 years ago, the statute of limitations, I guess, or something. Oh no, 2 years ago, they said. I don't know what I'm talking about. Great system. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambino, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I'd like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are those here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Plus the card reader by the door. We already have one. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. This is the ID card record. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambino, I can't show you more than that. Huh? I saw the number. I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in the room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Red dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. That happened to SL9 2 days ago. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot? The number on this is 5842189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Yep, second last number. Oh, I'd love to know the person who has 777777 at 420. I want to know who that was. Oh yeah, I was pissing it down. Look, the fourth number is a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cars in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. Wait, what did Officer Meakin say? So I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. He asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing, suddenly he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meakins? Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. I got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Who to end? Bloody hell. That weather turned. It was like sunny like an hour ago. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room. It really is kind of like a graveyard. Shout out to that car door, by the way. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Oh, hey. Eek, whoa. Oh. I'm sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So, is it true what I heard? Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asks me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'll give him $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire, knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50? Even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. And guess what? You got permission from the Chief, so now you're the boss of the day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidentiary plans. Gumshoe. Boss for a day. So Detective Gumshoe, you're boss for the day? That's right, it's an honor. God, that is really heavy rain. What the hell? I know there's a storm. Look, well, there's meant to be a storm that's passing through tomorrow, but man, that's right, it's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're the boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation again. I'm adamant, though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Aha, of course. I am a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open. I always believe in Mr. Edgeworth no matter what happens. Wait, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? Hell. That hell? Hold on, Shaw, I need to look at this. This is mad! It isn't hail, it's just rain coming off the gutter. But anyway, I'll be back in a minute because I'm going to go make my lunch and I need the bathroom. Not in that order, but you know, go wash my hands and stuff. So, I'll be back, chap. They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about that case. place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. The only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? Handles? On the outside of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, zap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Hello. There's the Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I bet Edward was most surprised of anyone. There's the SL9 connection. That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Now that was a bloody violent case. Violent? So it was a murder? A serial killing? Serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. Dad, the sun is out now. It was literally pouring down with rain 10 to 15 minutes ago and now the sun's out. Welcome to British weather. And this was 2 years ago? I put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started a rumour mill. Rumours about forged evidence. It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transfer the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh, what do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident. So that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumours. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? That second number. Not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth! What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. Oh dear. What? What? Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? There's something sticking out here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. Why did Detective Gumshoe put this here? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. I'm gonna eat my lunch at this thing. Chat. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? I bet Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. What's this? Blood! It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint in that here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? You use our testing fluid to check it out. Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coded with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker? Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Oh, Michael Jackson's glove. No one left a glove here, but only one. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? There's no tag on it. Ah, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it broke. Want to try to put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Well, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. I should put the rest in place. Oh god. Oh, there we go. Okay. Looks like a... I don't know, it looks like a freaking vase or something, like a... not vase. A chalice, I guess. Oh, I gotta rotate the thing. Oh, never mind. There we go. Yeah, we don't have any more pieces. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Are some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Well, doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I can't understand how it got broken. Oh my god, I lost so much of it. Oh, hello. We're in Virtual Boy World again. Oh, hello. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Hey, Detective Goodman? Was actually an alien? This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. I knew it! This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine. yours? Please, you have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective! I mean, he's not wrong, though. November. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I just borrowed $50 from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better drop this down on the floor plans. Hey pal, look at the time. Is there something you need to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm gonna go give them my report for the day. It might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. Let's probably see what Edgeworth has to say too. Let's do it. Hey, John Marston, how's it going? What? Why are you here? I remember him, but why is he here? Ah, guess, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He asked the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Ah, yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info's on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney, however. Something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police, Gant. I could do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow, I've never seen this out of sorts. Well, we gotta know. Oh right, I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. Chief of Police. He wanted evidence for a case I wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. Chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case, I better make a note of it. Unrelated evidence. That's somehow probably going to be related. Stubborn as always, I told you that has nothing to do with the current case. I know you. You probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. Figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. Must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the Deputy Chief of Police at the time. Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too then. He was a top officer and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow. You get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was the Deputy Chief of Police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdicts and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science? Huh? Yeah, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Criminal testing fluid, huh? Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminium powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation, do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Yeah, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Back to the evidence room! Oh, I guess she's gone. Oh, and then Bay Marshall's gone. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. First, choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger! That one, I guess. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminium powder around. I refuse to say it the other way around. Huh? How do you do that? With the A button, see? Ah, it looks like that did the trick. The aluminium powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With the Y button. Exciting, I know. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. What's the bet? In the DS version, you actually have to blow into the microphone. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake, see? Wow, that looks like fun. Might take some getting used to, though. It's fine, it won't go out your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I'd better give it a try. Hell yeah. Actually just snorting cocaine. Aha, you did it! You found one! But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here! Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. Alright, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Look at that locker door again closely. Oh, I see it. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. I want it. Yeah, so much cocaine. Ooh. I guess I'm not done yet. I'm still not done. Do I have to like examine it? I'll just cover the whole screen. Okay. Apparently I got unlimited of this stuff, so fuck it. Yeah, apparently I didn't cover enough. Okay. Yay, a print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints will we most likely find on this evidence locker? Gumshoes. Dude, Gumshoe's the same age as me! What? He looks like he's in his 40s. How is he the same age as me? What? I call bullshit. Or maybe I'm just lucky. Aha! These prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Yeah. That one. This is where we got luminol fluid reaction, right? Right, there was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this? There go her eyes sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area would have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. You say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me! Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Guess it'll be around here, wouldn't it? Oh. Okay. Where was it? There it was. Cocaine! Apparently I gotta do it multiple times, that's why I didn't come up. Oh, didn't have to do that time. It gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Ooh, that looks good. Ooh. Oh good, it's Red Dead Redemption's. Fucking Jake Marshall is older than Dick Gumshoe. I guess it kind of makes sense in the context of this, but still. I still don't believe Dick Gumshoe is 30. What about the other ones? Who's 65? Hey, these fingerprints, they... Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma. This is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. Luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. Oh! So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints. On a white blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall? It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you call decisive evidence. I can believe it. Dude, maybe he just had a nosebleed or something, I don't know. God, I still got quite a lot of this case left to do. We'll probably finish it up tomorrow, but I have a feeling we'll finish it up quite early tomorrow, so we might have to find something else to do. After. That's okay. I'll think of something. February 24th. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Anna! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday, I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? Then, as Mr. Wright suspects, the police are clueless. Figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, we wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye? We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We had to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I heard the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow. This is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day, excuse me, to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh, that guy. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? He's actually Agent 47. Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Fucking mood. My actions are something adults can't possibly comprehend, even though I'm an adult myself. I think we call them wild cards. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do. No, not right. That's just called slavery, but you can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Crime report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. The victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto two others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. Defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. So just press them. Still trying my lunch bowl. Mr. Meekins, you worked in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. Blue Badger? Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. Oh no, don't remind me. Don't fucking remind me of this fucking thing. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transfer process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around, I relocated the Blue Badger into the evidence. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us. What did you see when you got there? In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is, I found it. This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir, it's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number 4989596. It shows it's being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. First time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. Fair enough. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir, a knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Jesus Christ, that was savage. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. He took his knife. I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir. What a shock, he punched you in the face. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. Under a report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. That Blue Badger has got to have something. I returned into the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the was the man this officer murdered really the victim? Good point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The Chief? Did it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir, that's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. By mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Right, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh. Please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. Video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Oh, what the fuck? I will expand the glove. This doesn't help. How does it show anything? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wiggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honour, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened was unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him, no one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Press him on the last statement. Oh, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do, after all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is... As the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? Of course there is. There's always a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Judge? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I had to point out a problem in the video? It's the first time I ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Make a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. Has this guy ever become a police officer? Like that guy here, is it in Yakuza 0, the stop and search guy? Hey, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's... oh, wow. Alright. Oh, we got... look! Yeah, the light's on.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the lockout apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Light's still on. I wish this music would stop playing, it's unsettling. I guess it's Halloween, though. When the victim reaches for the handles to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Already lit, fam. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! Order, order, what's the meaning of this? Very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When the door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouth shut. I wish there was some people like that out there that would just keep their mouth shut. So-called armchair experts. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well... you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jam the sensor? Hey. There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. It was the god, wasn't it? Why does it have to play the music every time? Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. Bruh, what was that sentence? You can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? Sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if someone was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? And inserted? I bet it's the fucking marshal. This white thing wasn't inside the locker, it was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir, it's just like my tie. I have 3 times to get stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Over the door closing, my tie chokes me, but the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator you don't mean... I think I've finally got this figured out. Very well, let's please present the relevant evidence. What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! It appears so, sir! Order! 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 Are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodwin? Do not be misled, Your Honour. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defence has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. Hold on, chap. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used as a record of it, at the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honour. The ID used at 5:14 was that of the victim. Just before the crime, huh? Yes, without a doubt this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why are there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There are only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right. I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination. lost item report, right?
Objection!
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. Chat, I'm nearly done with my lunch, I promise. Nearly done. I know it's annoying, but I have to do it. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I had the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I meant the other crime scene, the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. A very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed, but it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe there's something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order, order. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing, it doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order, order, order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 PM on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins' encounter was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong with that? Basically, by proving that the thing didn't happen in the security room, he's saying it's irrelevant to the underground parking lot case, which kind of pins everything back on Lana again. Oops. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, well, it seems you finally realised exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defence has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So, the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used a murder weapon. Ah! Ah, you fucked up, Phoenix. Knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? Where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess?
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objected to what you just proven. Of course not, but I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. Security video did not show the actual murder. At least the music's not playing this time, although the silence is also unsettling, so I don't know what I prefer. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Take that!
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is I can't read that word. Subnautica. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. I went with the first word that I thought of that began with S, and began with sub. I could have said subscription. Right, so I went with fucking Subnautica. Alright. Subpoena. Oh. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Anna, you're the one who knows everything. Emma. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Yeah, you kind of are. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Thanks, Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe. What is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey. I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you bought what I asked? Oh. Ho. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Did I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the Chief Prosecutor, were a witness in that case. This Sky was a witness? Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've bought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident. Is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as... the Joe Dark killings. Dark. Joe Dark. And Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. Can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. Oh, this scene's fun. Oh god. This episode is very long. I knew it was going to be, but I didn't imagine it being this long. Alright, Emma's not here anymore. She ran off. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand, the officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Fucking John Marston's back. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I've got the music again. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Do it. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the rooms were protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Fucking got him! Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even the cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Well, there's one obvious contradiction, isn't there?
Objection!
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? Is you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime, and yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. Only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Oh, excuse me. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The feds may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Blood-stained fingerprints! That's because, how do you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right, that and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was detective, the locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. That would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. Security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you could show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this oh gosh. What's the video at fucking 15:12? Oh right, the thing isn't there anymore. Oh, that's funny. I didn't notice that before. Damn, why do we have to play the music every time? Yeah, it's there now.
Take that!
Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. You sum up what you had to say in 8 words or less. Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. A locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order! It was seen that's the only— Hold your horses! Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. What if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker instead— oh, come on, you idiot. Suck it in. Not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb, he really doesn't know. Oh, right, he doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker, now prove it. Yeah, you're the only one who can. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force who don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Love it. Like how he's like composed and then just lost it. Order, order, order. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke. That's 9 words actually. Oh, shame. Now then, please tell us what you're doing in the evidence room at the scene of the crime. Hello, Ace Play. Hi, 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 hi. Olay, please answer the question. Where's he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. That is true, that is 9 words. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? He was the bee.
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous! Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he knew for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes? And how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. The man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple, he couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown! Officer Meekins would have realised the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. That's the second time he's complained about his goddamn beard. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond the shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Means you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ah! It's about me happening. So obvious he's the one. What can I do? Zedroff gonna bail us out. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. Me, that would be what me used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. Shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? You mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open it. The According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime, and after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker and put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open this locker. Why this music again? Is it? I think it's still fucking creepy. I hate it. Ooh.
Take that!
Yeah. For some reason you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Yeah, because he cut his hand. Cut Meekins' hand. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, you all wouldn't have to be here now would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Alright, it seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:50. Very true, there wasn't. So the supposed victim was really you, but there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. I'm gonna call you out, buddy. I had to do it, though. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer of that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I... Yeah. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that in the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Yeah, he went in there beforehand, didn't he? Oh no, he didn't. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. He pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off. Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. Sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day... That is very much true. Again, it just doesn't matter. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What, are you blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So, you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. No one else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? There's no small offence. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Well, that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I'll just forget the SR9 files. I have a feeling Lana took it. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SR9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I had the SR9 incident file here. Name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Oh. Yeah, I'm sure you heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? Must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. Brother! He was investigating the murders with Damon Gantley, then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Go Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to the public record. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. That's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. The Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. Exactly at the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime. That means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was real. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident in the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me that this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. A sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Ah! I rest my case. It was a noise rather than a word. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. I bet Emma comes in. There's no doubt what I proved yesterday is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realise that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. What's about Emma comes in? Yep. Fucking knew it. Fucking called it. Your Honor, wait! Emma! The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright? Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense... Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. Of course you don't. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Unless she mentions it. Names of both Sky Sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. Though I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. Being the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. Did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. At all? Please don't be mad, I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Hey. Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Now that I think about it, wasn't the badger thing in front of it? Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. Yeah, that's where the fucking mascot thing was. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I object! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? Means something hasn't been drawn on there? Yeah, the mascot. Yes, something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Thus, pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plan? What about that piece of plywood? Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. Blue Badger is not here. Oh? So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well? Well, what? Ah! That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot in the locker. What? That means... just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, figure through scientifically. Also, I guess you're here. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. That must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment, I would not allow such far-fetched boulder-dash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice! But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. Problem is, the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proved when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? Summarized, defense claims that, prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that could show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? Oh, there's so much evidence. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh, the ID card record. So the person at 4:20? Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 PM. Crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 PM. Ah! Aha! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? Never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. No, ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. Clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean out the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. So it's by the 7 sevens. There's only one other card that number remaining. And the 7's at 420 Blazer. Talk about a lucky number. Wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his car being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777s. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 77 belongs to someone with rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. An official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you could keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes. No, not to you, to her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Anna? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 77s. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. Yes or no incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Anna, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me and investigating that crime in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Well, shit. A lot of flashes of white. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! 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 Anna's remarks caused such a stir, the chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. What a conspiracy. Alright, we'll save it here and I think we'll wrap up for today. We'll finish up this tomorrow. Very good. I know we've got like 10 minutes left, but we've got a good save point. We've got a good like intermission. And also, the suspicion is very high. The tensions are high. The prosecution has been forging evidence. I can't believe it. But all those rumours got passed on to Edgeworth. Feels bad, man. Edgeworth got kind of caught in the crossfire there. But yeah, that's another stream done and dusted. Next stream is tomorrow. This case is very long. Very, very long. I mean, I started it last time out. Last Wednesday. We got up to like the first like trial sequence, and yeah, we just reached the end of the second trial sequence. And that was 4 hours. Nearly 4 hours. That's mad. Oh god. So yeah, we'll finish this up tomorrow. That's Wednesday the 1st of November. We'll finish up this game. Should be very good. On Friday, Back in F1 doing the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Vroom vroom, very fast cars. And on Saturday we've got Jackbox. We're trying out the new party pack. Should be very good. Alright. I guess we'll raid Octavian. He's playing Resident Evil 2. What a surprise! Playing a spooky game on a spooky day. I didn't do that. I like to subvert expectations. But yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully enjoyed today's stream. Hope the rest of your Halloweens go well. Very spooky. And hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bope.